a one-room schoolhouse in a farming town, children leaving class early to work the fields, and one determined educator who believed her students deserved more. Blanche General Ely helped transform education for Black and migrant families in Pompano Beach, building a school system that would shape generations. This is Black in Broward, and this is the story of a woman who helped build the foundation of education for Blacks in Broward County. Adrian Clark knows this history personally. A graduate of Blanche Ely High School and now a historian and museum professional, she helps preserve the legacy of the woman whose vision changed education in Pompano Beach forever.
I'm originally from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I moved to Florida in 1991 to attend Blanche Ely High School, where I graduated in 1995.
Blanche Ely's name is legendary in Pompano Beach, but her work begins decades earlier when education opportunities for Black children were almost non-existent.
Blanche Ely was an educator, a community activist, and many people regard her as the sort of architect of education for Black and migrant students in Pompano Beach and Broward County. She was a young teacher and ultimately became the principal at a one-room schoolhouse in the city of Pompano Beach. That was around 1920, 1921. The important thing to know about Pompano in the early 20s is that it was primarily an agricultural community. There was very little infrastructure. At the time, Pompano was considered one of the produce capitals of the United States. There was a lot of work that had to be done, and so parents often had to pull their children out of school and not allow them to attend school year-round. Mrs. Ely understood that to be competitive, the students needed to have full educational sessions and a longer period of time to work on the academic elements that would lead to their success.
In the 1920s, education for Black students often stopped after just a few grades.
When Blanche Ely arrived in Pompano, the education system was very limited. She arrived at a time where there was one school, it was a one-room schoolhouse, and it potentially went up to maybe third grade. Education beyond that point meant that Black and migrant students had to travel to attend, to complete their education.
Ely demanded excellence, not only in academics, but also in discipline.
Any school that Mrs. Ely was involved in was known for academic rigor, a commitment to spirituality, and a strong sense of discipline. She was very hands-on. She definitely believed that you were to be appropriately dressed at all times. She talks about making sure that belts were worn with their pants so that they don't sag, that hats were to be removed when entering the campus. She was really a very disciplined person and expected the best from her students and the surrounding community.
Education was also a family mission for Blanche Ely and her husband, Joseph.
Blanche and Joseph Ely were married in 1930. He was originally from Jacksonville and also came to South Florida as an educator. They were regarded as sort of a dynamic duo. What a lot of people don't realize is that Joseph Ely was the first principal at Dillard High School. He actually was the person who advocated for changing the name of the school from Fort Lauderdale Colored School to Dillard High School. They laid the groundwork for what the educational system could become and would become.
Their work unfolded as South Florida's Black communities were growing alongside migration from the Bahamas and the Caribbean.
Long before Pompano was a place where people lived permanently, Bahamians and other migrants came to the area. So the northwestern sector of Pompano Beach is historically African American or even Afro-Caribbean. What would become the Black community is situated on one side of the railroad tracks. You could imagine that during segregation, that railway also became a line of demarcation between Black and white.
Ely's greatest achievement would come in 1952 when she was able to open Blanche Ely High School in its current location.
That school went all the way to the 12th grade. When you think about coming to a space where third grade was the highest level of education, being able to graduate a full class, she was elated. So long before white schools in the area were accredited, Blanche Ely was able to have her school accredited. And so the quality of education being received at a school affiliated with the Elys was not rivaled by a white school at the time.
But integration would bring difficult decisions.
So in 1952, Brown versus the Board of Education ended segregation of schools in the United States. However, in Broward County, the segregation of schools continued well into the 70s. Eventually, the Broward County school system alerted Blanche Ely that the school needed to be integrated. And Mrs. Ely was resistant, as you could imagine. Ultimately, the school board decided to phase out Blanche Ely High School, and the school closed in 1970.
But Blanche Ely never stopped fighting.
Blanche Ely didn't take the closure of Blanche Ely High School very lightly. She wrote letters to celebrities, she wrote letters to the president, she wrote letters to former students to raise money and continue the fight to have the school reopened. And in 1975, Blanche Ely High School reopened as an integrated high school.
Today, Blanche Ely's legacy lives on through the school and through the museum that preserves her history.
So a number of students and former educators at Blanche Ely High School got together in 1997 and formed the Ely Educational Museum. And really, to me, that's a really big part of the Ely's legacy, that the students felt so compelled to petition the city and say, this spot is worth saving for future generations to know about. One of the highlights of the Blanche Ely House Museum tour is being able to take a look at the yearbook collection. When I come to the museum, it makes me feel like I am at my grandmother's house. I feel a great sense of responsibility in caring for the museum and for making this information accessible to the public. My favorite thing is to have people visit the home and to see themselves reflected back to them.
From a one-room schoolhouse to a fully accredited high school, Blanche General Ely's vision transformed education in Broward County. Today, her legacy lives on in the school that bears her name, the museum that preserves her story, and the generations of students who continue to follow the path she created.